A mother, two kids, a racetrack that used to feel like home and now feels like a reminder of everything that's missing. Samantha Busch just opened up in a way that's stopping the entire racing world in its tracks. And what she revealed about life after losing Kyle Busch is hitting harder than anyone expected. Here's where we are. Kyle Busch, two-time Cup Series champion, passed away on May 21st after a sudden battle with severe pneumonia that turned into sepsis. He was just 41 years old. Now, just over a month later, his widow Samantha Busch is speaking publicly about what it's actually like behind closed doors, raising their two kids, Brexton and Lennox, while carrying a grief most of us can't imagine. And Brexton, their son, has already been back on a racetrack competing. That's not a small detail. That's a storyline all on its own. To understand why this moment matters, you have to understand what racing meant to this family. The Busch family has been part of the motorsports world for nearly 2 decades. The track wasn't just a workplace, it was where this family's life happened. Brexton's love of racing wasn't something Kyle pushed onto him. It was something they built together. Hours in the garage, hours talking about cars, a shared passion that connected father and son. So when Kyle died, it didn't just leave a hole in a marriage. It left a hole in a partnership, a racing partnership between a father and his son that was still being written. That's why Childress Racing made the call to keep Kyle's number Warner 8-car parked rather than handing it to another driver. They're holding that seat, quite literally, until Brexton is ready to step into it. Now, here's where it gets interesting from a strategic and emotional standpoint, because there are two storylines colliding at once. First, the business and team angle. Pausing a car number for a driver's son is rare in professional racing. Teams usually move fast. Sponsors want results, not sentiment. The fact that RCR is willing to sit on that seat says something about how deeply this organization is tied to the Busch family, and it tells competitors something too. This isn't just a marketing decision. It's a long-term bet on a kid who isn't even old enough to drive on public roads yet. Second, the human angle, which honestly might be the bigger story long-term. Samantha isn't just managing grief privately. She's choosing to talk about it publicly, in detail, while actively keeping her children connected to the sport that defined their family and connected to the version of their dad that lived at that racetrack. Is that smart? From a legacy standpoint, yes. Keeping Brexton in racing keeps Kyle's influence alive in a tangible way. It gives the kids continuity instead of a clean break from everything familiar. Is there risk? Absolutely. Returning to a high-pressure, physically demanding sport this soon after losing a parent is an emotional minefield for a young driver. One bad race, one mechanical failure, one moment of doubt at the wheel. And the story shifts from inspiring to concerning very quickly. The motorsports world will be watching every lap Brexton runs differently now. That's a lot of weight for a kid to carry. The reaction so far has been overwhelmingly emotional. Fans across the NASCAR community are calling Samantha's honesty refreshing. There's no filter, no polished PR statement, just a mother describing what grief actually looks like day to day. At the same time, there's a quieter undercurrent of concern from longtime racing analysts. Some are asking whether the sport and the media spotlight that comes with it is the healthiest environment for two grieving kids to process loss in public. Both reactions are valid, and both are going to keep fueling this story for months. So where does this go from here? Let's break down two scenarios. Best case, Brexton continues developing as a driver. RCR eventually hands him that number 8 car when he's ready, and this becomes one of the most compelling redemption and legacy stories in modern NASCAR history. Samantha becomes a respected voice on grief and resilience inside and outside the sport. Worst case, the pressure of carrying his father's number, combined with processing a loss this massive at such a young age, becomes too much too soon. Performance struggles publicly, media scrutiny intensifies, and what should be a healing story turns into a cautionary one about pushing a grieving kid back into the spotlight too fast. Which path this takes depends almost entirely on how patient everyone around Brexton, the team, the media, and the family is willing to be. So here's the question I want to lead you with. Is keeping Brexton in racing right now the best way to honor his father's legacy? Or is it asking too much, too soon, from a kid who just lost his dad? Drop your take in the comments. I want to hear where you land on this one. And if you want more honest breakdowns on the stories actually shaping NASCAR right now, make sure you subscribe, because this storyline is far from over.